Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 8.4, In-Class Practice. Remember to simplify each rational expression and to show all of your work and circle that final answer. All right, let's look at number 1. So we have to add, but let's take a look at our denominators. They're not the same. How do I make them the same? Well, I need to find an LCD. Now, if you don't know it off the top of your head, you have to list the multiples and find the lowest number they both have in common. Okay, so our LCD is 6. So to get our first fraction to a 6, I need to multiply by 2. And I need to make sure to multiply everything by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4x, 2 times 3 is 6. And we're going to change it real quick just so we know that was our first fraction. Now, our second fraction, I need to multiply by 3. And once again, I need to make sure to multiply everything by 3. So that turns into 12x minus 18. Okay, let's look. What can we combine? Well, 4x plus 12x, that gives us 16x. And 6 minus 18, well, 6 minus 18 is negative 12. Can I factor anything? The bottom's still a 6, but I think I can factor out a 4. And then we're left with 3, nope, not 3. 4x minus 3. And then the last thing that we would do would be reduce. And when we reduce that fraction, that ends up being 2 over 3. So we have 2, 4x minus 3, all divided by 3. And there we go. All right, let's look at number 2. We always want to look at the denominators, and we need to look to see what operation we have. So, 4 and 5. What's the LCD of 4 and 5? And some of you might be like, oh, I know, it's this right away. Great. Because you should have said 20. So to get to 20, I need to multiply our first fraction by 5. And 5 times x is 5x. Our denominator is going to be 20. And then on the right, I need to multiply everything by 4. And 5 times 4 is 20x. So our next step would be to combine like terms, and we get 25x over 20. And then I need to ask myself, can I reduce? And you can reduce 25 over 20. You can divide it by 5. And you end up getting 5x over 4. That's my final answer. So I circled it. All right, number 3. So the first thing that we need to find is the LCD. And it's broken up by the factors. I want these to be the same. The only thing they have in common is x. But what I'm missing over here is a 2. So our LCD is 2x because I need them both to be the same. So to turn that into a 2x, I only need to multiply the right side by 2. And as I'm doing that, I need to remember that this is a negative 3. So the 4 stays the same. It's over 2x. and we are subtracting 3 times 2, which is 6. So I need to combine my like terms. On the top, 4 minus 6 is negative 2 over 2x, and I can reduce 2 over x. That ends up turning into negative 1 over x. Guys, I'm going through this a little bit quicker today just because we've already done a video on this, okay? So if this is like, whoa, what's Mr. Grice doing? Go back to 8.4 notes. There are 2 videos. You can watch that. All right, so we need to figure out what our LCD is. I'm going to break the second fraction down because that's x times x, and this is just 10x. So what they have in common is the x. I need to add another x, and I also need to add a 10. So my LCD is a combination of those 2 things, which is going to be 10x squared. So to get to 10x squared, I need to multiply the first one by x and the second fraction by 10, okay? And we have to remember that this is a negative 3. So our denominator is going to be the 10x squared. 1 times x is x. And through negative 3 times 10 is going to be negative 30. And we need to ask ourselves, can I do anything to that? No, there's nothing we can factor. So our final answer is x minus 30 over 10x squared. All right, number 5. So once again, we're subtracting right away. We're going to change this to addition, and I'm going to turn that into a minus. Now, looking at our 2 denominators, they are not the same. Now, the nice thing is they both have an m, so that's good. So the thing they have in common is an m. But one has a 3 and the other has a 4. So our LCD is a combination of all of those, so the LCD is going to be 12m. To get to the 12, our first fraction, I need to multiply by 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. Our second fraction, we're adding that now, I need to multiply by 3. So that turns to be a negative 3. And now we have 8 plus negative 3, which is 5. And the denominator stays the same. So can we do anything to that? No, we can't. So that's our final answer. All right, number 6. So once again, right away, I see the subtraction in the middle. We're going to distribute that. I'm going to change it to a plus, and that turns to a minus, and that turns to a minus. As we factor these out, this is x and x plus 5, and there's nothing that we can do over here. So what do they have in common? Well, they both have an x plus 5. But we need to add that other x. So our LCD is going to be x comma x plus 5. Which is nice because I don't have to do anything to the first fraction. But the second fraction we need to multiply by x. Okay? So as we write this down, x over x plus 5, the 15x stays the same. And now we have negative x times x, which gives us negative x squared. And negative 1 times x is negative x. So we're going to write this in order. Negative x squared plus 14x. Mr. Grice, how'd you get negative x squared plus 14x? Well, I combined my like terms too, guys. You can do that. Okay, so can I take out a GCF for the top? You bet your butt I can. I can take out a negative x, and then we're left with x plus 14. And in the bottom, we still have the x and the x plus 5. So what can we cross out? We can cross off the x's, and then when we're left is negative x plus 14 all over x plus 5. All right, only a couple more. So for number 7, right away, a couple things I notice. I see subtraction. We're going to change that to plus, and that's going to be a negative 3. When we find our LCD, since I can't factor anything, it's just going to be a combination of x plus 4 and x minus 1. Now, to get there, I need to multiply the top left by x minus 1 and the bottom. And when we do that, I'm just going to go ahead and distribute. We get 5x minus 5. Now on the right, I have to multiply by x plus 4. And then we get negative 3x minus 12. Let's go ahead and combine our like terms. Our denominator stays the same. X plus 4, x minus 1. And we get 2x minus 17. Is there a GCF at the top? What do you think? Nope, there's not. So that's our final answer. There's nothing else that we can do. So there we go. That's my answer. Number 8. Number 8 is going to be just like number 7. Why don't you guys pause the video and see if you can do it all on your own. Good luck. Okay, there's my before work if you want to see it. But if you haven't finished it yet, pause the video again and finish up. Okay, and your final answer should have been 64 over x plus 8, x minus 8. When you combine like terms, your 4x and your negative 4x cancel out. All right, number 9. Let's take a look and try to find our LCD. Now, I can factor this, the one on the right, to 4x minus 1. And now I can see that the only thing that's missing is a 4 on the right side. So that's our LCD, the 4x minus 1. So I need to multiply by 4. When we do that, we get 8, 4 over x minus 1, and then we're just adding 9. There's nothing I had to do to that other one. When we add that, 8 plus 9 is 17, and the denominator stays the same. And is there anything we can cancel out? Nope. So that's our final answer. All right, number 10. We have to factor the denominator. So we're looking for numbers that multiply to get to 10 and add to -7, which are what? Should we say -2 and -5? So this breaks down to x minus 2, x plus 5. And then we notice that right away they have the x minus 2's in common, but our LCD is a combination. It's got to be both. So our first fraction is fine. There's nothing we can do, or nothing we have to do, because it's already got that. But on the right, we need to multiply by x plus 5 so we can combine our like terms, okay? So we get 5x plus 25. I'm sorry, we multiplied by -5. Why did I make that a positive, guys? So 5x minus 25. Now, when we write that in order, we get 5x minus 2 minus 25 is 23 over x minus 2, x minus 5. And guys, there's nothing we can do there. That's our final answer. Okay? So, there you go. Your homework is the bottom. Guys, we know that this is a tough lesson. So if you need help, come in and find us. There is extra credit for this one. There's no big extra credit packet that's going to save you. Okay, you got to come in and get some work done. All right? Well, that's it for Algebra 2, Chapter 8.4 notes, or in class practice. If you have any questions, please come find Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Thanks for watching.